familiar with the advice that to keep healthy, we need to eat at least 5 fruit and veg each day. But how many of us really do this? Well, there is one possible solution in the form of Juice Plus, a whole food-based supplement which is made up of a wide variety of fruit and vegetable essences. But how does it work and how much good does it actually do? Dr. Nyjon Eccles is an independent expert on nutritional medicine. He's medical director here at the Chiron Clinic in Harley Street, London, where he specialises in the use of nutritional products to maintain health and well-being. Dr. Eccles is a well-known figure in both medical research and practice. He's one of the UK's foremost researchers on the use of static magnetic fields. He's also a regular lecturer on the role nutrition has to play in everyone's health. He has a particular interest in the impact nutrition can have on breast health. That's an area in which Dr. Eccles has done some pioneering work, including the development of infrared thermal imaging for the early detection of breast cancer. And with those sort of credentials, Dr. Eccles is an ideal person to consult on the role of nutrition and whether Juice Plus really does do any good. Dr. Eccles, what's the value of fruit and veg to our health?
If someone asks me as a nutritional expert, what is the key nutritional change that we could make to impact positively on our health, it would be to increase the amount of fruit and vegetables in our diet. And the reasons for this are partly explained by, if we look at population studies, and across a broad range of populations, we see that the proportion of the population that takes most fruit and vegetables have less of some of the important chronic diseases that affect Western society.
What is it about fruit and veg that creates this beneficial effect?
That's a good question. And up until recently, the main thought is that it was to do with fruit and vegetables providing a broad range of substances we call antioxidants. And the basis of this is that just by living and breathing, and of course living in a toxic environment, and if we smoke and exposure to radiation, environmental pollutants, these all increase what we call a free radical stress. Now these are highly reactive chemicals which we take into our bodies or that we are exposed to, and they damage our cells. What the antioxidants do is they act like a sponge to these free radicals, preventing their excess and therefore their damaging effect on cells. More recently, however, it's interesting to note from the scientific publications that actually some of the key phytonutrients that are found in fruit and vegetables seem to have other protective effects on cells as well.
So what are some of these effects?
They are definitely antioxidant, we know that. They reduce DNA damage, which is almost certainly partly because of the antioxidant action. They reduce inflammation, which is important. They have been shown to improve immune system function. They've been shown to improve circulation, particularly the flavonoids. And lastly, but by no means least, there is also published evidence that some of the key phytonutrients are able to actually alter gene expression. Now this is very important because our genes don't just determine our eye and our hair color. They also are responsible for day-to-day function of our cells, the ability of our cells to behave, to regulate themselves, even to die at the right time because they have a sell-by date. The fact that phytonutrients are able to change how our genes function is something which is now well published.
So what do you recommend your patients do?
Well, to bridge the gap between not taking enough fruit and vegetables, I recommend my patients to take a supplement called Juice Plus. And what that is it's an encapsulated dried juices from 17 different fruits and vegetables, and the proprietary drying process that is used is short and at low temperature, and this ensures that the phytonutrients are actually preserved. This is very important.
What sort of evidence is there to demonstrate the effects of Juice Plus?
Well, The other reason, and perhaps this is the most important thing for me, is that it's actually scientifically backed. There are in fact 11 published scientific studies that support that Juice Plus has some important positive effects.
Talk me through exactly the evidence that these studies reveal.
Sure. There are 5 key areas that I'll illustrate as the answer to that question. The first is that studies show that Juice Plus, or the phytonutrients from Juice Plus, are bioavailable. And what that means is that when you take it in, swallow it, it gets into the gut, that it's actually absorbed into the bloodstream and therefore is transported to the cells, which is where it needs to get to. And there are actually 7 studies which show that the phytonutrients are bioavailable. They get into the bloodstream, and in fact that the key antioxidants are raised to significant levels after a shorter time as 28 days. And these studies have also shown across different populations, different types of people, and different age groups that the phytonutrients are bioavailable. The second area of importance is the demonstration that there is what we call antioxidant effect or antioxidant capacity. This means that the studies have shown that there is actually a reduction in the number of free radicals. The first study in 1996 showed that there was a 75% reduction in free radicals after 28 days, which is quite remarkable. And then again, the second study in 2006, which was a study that was done at the University of Greensboro on elite athletes, showed that by taking Juice Plus, the antioxidant effect in terms of reducing the free radical damage that follows exercise was actually the same by taking Juice Plus as if you took large amounts of vitamin C and vitamin E. So this again, the fact that you get that this effect is demonstrated, that there is a reduction in the free radical effect, also confirms that the nutrients are bioavailable. They must be getting in order for us to be measuring this effect. The third category is the demonstration of a positive effect on immune function. We know that good nutrition is important to the normal function of the immune system and for us having healthy DNA. One study of 59 young individuals in the University of Florida showed that Juice Plus supported several important markers of proper immune function. This same study also showed a reduction in DNA damaged. So the phytonutrients seemed to be reducing DNA damage. And in fact, this reduction in DNA damage was also demonstrated in a study in 1999 from a more elderly population where we looked at the DNA in their white cells. The fourth category was looking at homocysteine status. Now, homocysteine is, I should explain, is an amino acid which we produce in the body. When it's high, it implies that there is greater risk of cardiovascular disease, of damage to the vascular system. And we know that a lower homocysteine is actually more favorable to cardiovascular health. There are in fact 2 studies which show that Juice Plus effectively lowered homocysteine in a group of people where the homocysteine was raised. In fact, the average reduction was a 5-point reduction in homocysteine by 28 days, which is very significant. And then there was a second study which actually showed that in 32 healthy individuals who did not have raised homocysteine to begin with, that actually their homocysteine came down as well. The fifth category is to do with circulatory health. In other words, a protective effect on the blood vessels. One interesting thing is that when we eat a high-fat meal, our arteries actually go into spasm or they constrict. Now this is thought to be detrimental to vascular health. And one big study, one controlled study with Juice Plus published in 2003 showed that In subjects who took Juice Plus, this vasospasm, or this constriction of the blood vessels after a high-fat meal, was significantly reduced, and this would imply a protective effect on the circulation. So in summary, the key 5 areas and the key 5 physiological effects that have been demonstrated with the Juice Plus studies are that it improves nutritional status. We know that the antioxidants get in, they are bioavailable. There is demonstrated improved antioxidant capacity. It demonstrates improved markers of immune function, so a supportive effect on the immune system. There is reduced DNA damage. There is improved homocysteine levels. In other words, the homocysteine levels are reduced, which would imply a protective effect on the vascular system. And also, it seems to contribute to maintaining normal vasoactivity or blood vessel activity after a high-fat meal.
So we've got quite a comprehensive body of evidence to show its benefits, but is there anything else ongoing, unpublished, that points in the same direction?
There are quite a few studies which are unpublished and are ongoing, and I'll mention a few of them. Perhaps the first one, which is of interest to me, is a study which is looking at the effect of taking Juice Plus in the antenatal period, in other words, during pregnancy, to see if it changes outcomes. And in fact, a preliminary study that was reported does suggest that there are actually some quite remarkable positive effects during pregnancy. So I'm looking forward to the publication of that report. Some of the other studies that are actually ongoing and continuing on an international basis are looking at things like periodontal health or teeth health or gum health. The study I mentioned already on pregnancy health, cardiovascular health, exercise, induced oxidative stress, smoking-induced oxidative stress, and also looking at nutritional status and quality of life. Ongoing studies that NSA, who make Juice Plus, are committing to, and this, as a physician, is what I like to see, that a company has the confidence in their product to actually support scientific research.
So how seriously should we be taking this?
I think we should be taking it very seriously. If there is one thing that I do consistently with my own patients, is encourage them to take more phytonutrients by eating more fruit and vegetables, because of what I know. We know that these offer protection. So having available a product like Juice Plus makes it even easier for people to achieve that. And in fact, I would go as far as saying that as a physician, I believe it is even unethical for me not to recommend a product that is going to give my patients this broad range of phytonutrients. Having something like Juice Plus available is just offering us a simple way of ensuring that on a daily basis we get a broad range of these important phytonutrients.
For more information on Juice Plus, please contact the person who gave you this DVD or go to juiceplus.co.uk.